You've probably seen it. A claim that seems too simple, too strange to be true. The secret to reversing hair loss isn't in an expensive clinic, but in your kitchen pantry. The remedy? Raw onion juice. Online, it's hailed as a miracle cure that can solve everything from autoimmune hair loss to fungal scalp issues. It's a tempting promise, especially for the millions of people desperate for a solution. But is there any real science behind this viral folk remedy? Or is it just another health trend based on wishful thinking? Today, we're going to separate fact from fiction. We'll examine the core compounds, dissect the scientific studies, and explore what modern dermatology has to say about the onion cure. The central argument for using onion juice on the scalp is built around two key components found in high concentrations within the onion: sulfur and a flavonoid called quercetin. The theory behind sulfur is straightforward. Our hair is primarily made of a protein called keratin, and keratin has a uniquely high concentration of sulfur containing amino acids. These sulfur bonds are what give hair its strength and structure. Proponents of the onion remedy argue that by applying sulfur-rich juice directly to the scalp, you are providing the raw materials needed to build stronger, healthier hair. On paper, it sounds plausible. The second compound, quercetin, is where the claims get more specific. Quercetin is a powerful antioxidant and has known anti-inflammatory properties. Since certain scalp conditions and even some forms of hair loss are linked to inflammation, the idea is that quercetin could help calm the scalp environment, allowing follicles to function better. It's also a potent antimicrobial, which could theoretically help with issues related to fungus or bacteria on the scalp. These two components form the scientific sounding basis for the onion juice trend. But a theory is not proof. The real question is, does any of this translate into actual hair growth on a human head? The vast majority of online articles and videos promoting onion juice point to one specific source to legitimize their claims, a study published in the Journal of Dermatology in 2002. We tracked down this study, and what we found is a classic example of a kernel of truth being stretched beyond the facts. The study was conducted on patients with a very specific condition called alopecia areata. This is not common genetic baldness. It is an autoimmune disease where the body's own T cells mistakenly attack the hair follicles, causing hair to fall out in patches. In this small study, one group applied crude onion juice to their scalp while a control group used tap water. After 6 weeks, 86.9% of the onion juice group saw significant hair regrowth. In contrast, only 13% of the tap water group saw regrowth. On the surface, that number sounds incredible, but context is everything. Firstly, this was a small-scale study that has not been widely replicated in the decades since. Secondly, and most importantly, it only looked at one specific autoimmune condition. The reason it may have worked is that quercetin's anti-inflammatory properties might have helped suppress the localized autoimmune attack on the follicles. There is zero clinical evidence from this study or any other credible study to suggest that onion juice would have any effect on the most common forms of hair loss, like male and female pattern baldness, which are driven by genetics and hormones, not a localized immune attack. And what about the supercharged fermented recipes you see online? The claim is that fermentation enhances the nutrients. While fermentation does change the chemical composition of food, there is absolutely no scientific evidence that this process makes onion juice a more effective hair treatment. In fact, leaving a raw vegetable juice at room temperature for days creates a prime environment for harmful bacteria to grow, introducing a risk of scalp infections. So, where does that leave us? We have a remedy with plausible sounding theories, but a foundation of evidence that is shaky at best and wildly misrepresented at worst. To get a final perspective, we can look to the consensus in modern dermatology. While most dermatologists would agree that applying onion juice is unlikely to cause serious harm other than an unpleasant smell, they are also clear about its limitations. For a condition like alopecia areata, there are FDA approved, evidence based treatments that are far more reliable. And for genetic hair loss, proven therapies like Minoxidil and Finasteride have decades of large scale clinical data supporting their effectiveness. Onion juice does not. So, what is the final verdict on the onion cure? It's a folk remedy built around a single small study on a specific disease. For the average person experiencing common hair thinning, the chances of it working are extremely low. It may offer some mild anti inflammatory benefits to the scalp, but it is not a proven solution for regrowing hair. The most efficient and effective first step for anyone concerned about hair loss isn't found in a recipe, but in a diagnosis. Understanding why you are losing your hair is the only way to find a treatment that will actually help. Instead of looking for a miracle cure in your kitchen, the real shortcut is to seek the advice of a qualified medical professional.